Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here. And today is another jewelry segment. But I wanted to this is just going to be a small little video to show you. I wanted to just show you how you can sort of tell, not 100%, but sort of tell the difference between gold jewelry and non-gold jewelry or silver, real metals versus just cheap man-made metals. I watched a segment of Hazel doing she was sorting through some jewelry that she just got at an auction, and she was wondering if some things were 925 silver or not. And there are a couple of ways to tell. A lot of times when you have jewelry, it will come, I'm just looking for one in particular here. Here's one for an example. It will come with this, it'll have the little clasp. You can see there's the little clasp, and then it comes with this little round oval with a hole in it, little added piece, and usually that will have some type of markings on it. Now sometimes it just says made in Korea or made in China, because they want to fool you a little bit into thinking you're getting something wonderful. But 99% of the time it'll say, 10 karat gold or 14 karat gold or silver or sterling 925, something. It'll give you some indication. You'll also find that pieces will have little signature metal pieces where, like a company like Avon, for example, would put their name in that little piece. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not, a value. It depends on, what Avon was selling at the time, because there was a time when they were selling sterling silver. I think I have a piece here somewhere. So it's always good to check. That's a first indication, but sometimes you're not sure, you can't read it, or you don't know what you're looking for, because there are many ways that it's hidden in jewelry that you don't always see the signature or the markings for whether it's real gold or real silver. So I'm going to just take this little tray here first and play with this one. I don't want to mix them up here. Sorry about the delay there. So I have this tray of jewelry, and you're looking at it going, well, it looks like a bunch of junk, right? Because you really don't know for sure whether it is or not. The very, very first thing that I do is I take a magnet. Now I've got two here. And I will start to run over top of this jewelry and see if anything, I can pick up anything. Oh, I'm picking up some stuff. That's all junk jewelry. Right off the hop, it is not worth anything. Now, some of them will trick you into thinking that it is better quality of jewelry. Like I hadn't gone on this side yet here, so I'm just going to go over there. Oh, look at more junk jewelry. Just throw it in your junk pile and play with it, because it's not worth anything. Like this one has no little signature oval on here or anything like that to show you that it's real gold. And some metals are they're just pot metal, or they're cheap metal that it's not even real metal. And now you think that, oh, here's another one that little heart is just, it's a locket, but it's just cheap metal. Use it in your crafts. Okay, I've got some earrings here that aren't being picked up. Oh, see, now that one now this little clasp got picked up, and yet some of these other ones didn't. Now these are the little butterfly clasps that you get on post earrings. But this one, I know you can't see it. This one is the cheap one because it picked up on the magnet. And this one is not a cheap one, because if you were to examine it closely with a magnifying glass, you would see that it has 10 karat gold written on it. I can't I don't know how to bring this up close enough where you would actually see it. But I know that it has 10 karat gold on it because this is mine. I can't wear cheap jewelry. But there are a few things here that are still questionable as to the amount of gold or in them, because they might be gold filled. Or electric plated gold, so they'll have a little bit of gold, but they will still not pick up because the outside is coated in the gold. So I have just a slightly heavier magnet here. It's on the bottom of this tray, which I love this tray. And I'm just going to run that across here because sometimes this thing will pick up even more. And in this case, it's not. Now this one I don't understand. If it just even grabs it a little tiny bit, then you know it's not the real thing. But I can't understand. This one, well, maybe this one's worth a little bit more. We'll have to look at it a little closer. So in doing that, we know this is already junk jewelry. It's not worth anything. But it's these pieces here that you have to question. Now I know some of these pieces in here because they are mine, but I'm pretty sure this locket is not gold. But I keep it in my jewelry box because one day I will take it to a jeweler to find out. But it's not sticking to the magnet at all on here, and it's not sticking to them. So those are ones that I would question, but I cannot find any markings on here, so that kind of tells me it's probably not. The rings, now this is I think this was my mother's at one time, and it has a marking inside of here. And this ring here, see, now I'm picking up the chains on the table, and the little bulb pins on the table here. Now this ring here is not picking up, and that's because the engraving inside is sterling silver. So sterling and regular silver, they're not worth as much anymore. This one is not picking up. My guess is that this is probably pot metal. It does have a signature on here of Avon. So depending on how old this ring is, it does have a little opal in here. Maybe it is a better quality. But when you find bags of jewelry and you've ruled out with a magnet as much as you can, if you're not looking to keep it, you can go to these jewelry places that buy jewelry, and they examine it right there in front of you, or off to the side in front of you, and they will bring back whatever's not worth anything, or they will separate it and tell you what's worth something and what's not, and then you can decide whether or not you want to sell it or move on. And if it's, if it has no sentimental value to you, then, let it go. You would be surprised how much of this kind of jewelry I find in baggies that I buy at garage sales and, estate sales. It looks like a bag of junk, and all of a sudden it's got some value. And here's a perfect example: these little hoop earrings. I mean, those are mine, and I know my husband bought me quality earrings because I have such allergies, and yeah, his reputation is at stake. So I know that these hoop earrings are worth something, but you cannot find identifying marks on here very easily. So it's easy for someone to have these in their jewelry box, and then somebody else is selling them, or they throw them in a baggie with everything else, and they don't know that they are real gold. And so it's always a good idea to separate those pieces from your jewelry and see what might be. Again, there's no guarantee. It might be. Now this one didn't pick up here, this little bracelet, and it does have a little side thing on it, but I don't see anything that, oh no, on this side, no. So there's no identifying mark on here to say that it is gold jewelry, but it doesn't pick up with this. But the clasp does. See, now the clasp is picking up. So this was probably gold filled. But, when in doubt, just take it to a jeweler or to one of those jewelry buyers, and they will rule it out. And if you're concerned about them not being honest, they all have to report to the government when they buy jewelry, and they have to report everything they take in because of theft, insurance. So one way or another, you are most likely dealing with somebody that is reputable. And just do the searches online, check out the reviews to make sure, and do some buying and selling. You'd be surprised at these little backs that are for the back of posts. Now this one's a handmade one, so I know that it's gold. But you'd be surprised at these posts that a lot of them are worth money because people don't realize it. Now it takes, you need a lot to make a gram of gold. So if you want to sell it quickly and just make $20, $40, $30, I don't know, that's fine. But if you want to make some real cash, then just put it in a baggie and keep it until you have enough to sell, or as a little investment. But just make sure you always keep it separate from your other jewelry. So that just gives you an idea in this case that like I already know that these are worth something because they come from my own jewelry box, definitely. And these were just little add-ins that I added in. But I will put that all back in this tray. And then I'm going to take the other tray and show you. And so here I have this other tray, and this cracks me up. This is this little package, and I'm sure you've seen them for different things that, if you bought it, you got this real piece of gold. Genuine 14 karat gold guaranteed, or 14 carats. So that makes me suspicious. However, it is this little tiny heart here. And I have two of them, so that also makes me suspicious. I think that my mother was getting these for something she was buying online. Or buying, I don't know. She was getting a free gift with her purchase. Anyway, I tested it and it doesn't pick up. So, maybe, but I kind of doubt it. But I will still put it aside. And I'm sure this weighs nothing as far as weight in gold and value. But I will put it aside, and someday when I've got a big pile of jewelry to take in, I will take it with me and see if it is real gold or not. But yeah, I have two of them. So just to again show you, like, you look in this thing and they're all gold, gold colored, right? So I'm just going to take this one, I think is better quality, this magnet, and oh yeah, look, it just grabbed this stuff right away. So that just tells you junk jewelry. It's not worth anything except for crafts. So I'm going to, I have to be careful with this tray. I should have thought about that too. So I'm going to do it this way and see. And the fact that it's sticking on here a little bit just says not the real deal. Oop. Again, it's an enamel metal coated tray. This one picked up, so we know that's not real. Ooh. Let's see if this one picks up. Yeah, so you know that that's not real. There's it's not 100% pure, is where I'm going with that. But all of these other ones, okay, so this was not a good idea to use this tray. All of these other ones are not picking up, and that's because they are the real thing. And I do have the little tags on here that say 10 karat or 12 karat. And these little charms are also marked 10 karat or 14 karat gold. And so you can see, my husband bought me this years and years ago. So you can see even back then I loved butterflies and cats. Now this one, it's a bangle bracelet. How would you know that how would you even consider that it's the real thing? You don't know. It's not being picked up by the magnet. But you know, people have to be aware of this, or check their jewelry really closely, because when you open this clasp up, on the other side of this clasp, you probably won't be able to see it, but on the other side of this clasp where it was the closure, it says 10 karat gold. So, you know, you would pass this up at a garage sale. It's a bangle bracelet, right? Why would you even look at it twice? But if you're buying junk jewelry, have a look at it, because you just never know what you're missing out on. And this would be a really good find, because it is gold. I know that because my husband bought it for me. And so again, you know, he has a reputation to uphold. So this is one that you would definitely, you know, would be a good score, and you would never expect it in a bangle bracelet, right? So these are things that you want to keep in mind. This one here is a charm, and I found this in a little baggie of stuff, and it took me a long time to, you know, I examined this thing. I had to go get a really good high-powered magnifying glass, and then I also put on magnifiers to look at it. And I also have my overhead light that has a magnifier. So I was using the 3 different options all at once to check this, because I could not see it. I could not find any markings. And then I found a little marking right here. And it is so tiny, you can't see it. But the fact that this has not picked up just says to me, oh yeah, this is a nice piece. And this is, I think, either from... It's Middle Eastern. It's a symbol, a Middle East symbol of some sort. So I know that it's worth something. So it will just go in my little baggie of stuff, and I will eventually take it to a gold seller or a gold buyer, and I will get some cash for it. And, you know, I find this stuff a lot, and, you know, you're not looking for it, so you don't see it. You may have passed it up. It's easy to pass up. It just looks like a little charm. And, you know, sometimes people don't waste their time looking at charms. And on this little bracelet, you know, you would look at it and it's like, oh yeah, it's a bracelet, but you don't see it. So it's just, again, you know, keeping your eyes open and double checking. And if you buy little baggies of gold or jewelry, before you start playing with it, just take a couple of magnets and do a little test. This ring here is, it's not marked, but I've had this ring since I was about maybe 14. And it was a handmade ring by an artisan. And I know that this is silver, and again, it doesn't pick up. And I bought it at a you know, one of these market things from the seller, and I know it's silver. So this is just you know, for me, it's sentimental value, but I mean, it was really cool at the time. But for now, it's just one of those things that you know, one of these days I will take it to the jeweler and buy it. But silver is not worth that much. You know, look online to see what the current prices are, and you'll get a better idea. Now this one is very tarnished. It's a pot metal of some sort. It's not good quality stuff. It's not picking up because it's just a cheap, it's not even real metal. So there's nothing here to, it's not even picking up the clasps, surprisingly. Oh yeah, it is a little bit, you know, there's a little bit of resistance there. So there again, it just tells me that, yeah, it's cheap metal. But, you know, it's a cute little piece, and I keep it in my jewelry box just because I like it. So that is, you know, just to show you. Oh, one more thing is this a lanyard. It looks like it's really expensive stuff, but and here I'm picking up the end of the clasp. So I'm going to try with this other magnet because it's a little bit heavier duty, and it's also picking up the clasp. And the rest of this is probably just cheap stuff. But you can see that it's holding on a little bit. So it's not a perfect method, but for someone who has no experience, just to rule out possibilities versus just saying it's junk, this is the way to do it. you know, so now this is picking up the, you can't really see it, but the clasp is moving the earring hook. And these are just cheap, nasty pearls on here. So that's just a little mini video to give you an idea of what to look for or how to look for it. So get yourself some magnets, get yourself a magnifying glass to look and see if you can find any markings on things, because any little scratch, even if you can hardly see it, might tell a story. And, you know, if depending on whether you want to keep it for yourself because you think it has some value, or whether you want to put it aside for someone to look at and maybe get the cash for it, you know, those are your options. So I hope this was a little bit of information for you, and I will carry on with my other video right after this one, and I will see you shortly. Bye for now.